Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
No, I just started out by listening to like super mellow, wonderful reggae music, and I liked it. But I'm just saying, if I don't get a little bit of interaction, I may fall asleep up here, and that's not a cute look for me.
Should we
So,
do something really annoying or just stand up and do
yes, yes,
Well, let's see it.
yes, let's do it. Are we ready? All right, everybody up. Oh yeah, see, none of you are ever going to sit saying good morning to me again when I do, are you? All right, you ready?
Cool.
Okay, so we'll do the slow to the fast clap, and then we'll do a hook. Y'all got the plan? All right, follow on, ready? And I like that. We're starting to duck in that one. That was almost like a standing ovation before meeting even started. That's how good this was. So thank you to everyone who made it out to the Pride Potluck last week. It was so much fun. About 50 agents, great conversations, great food. So thank you to everyone who was there. Thank you also to those of you who made the $1 Million Mastermind on Friday. Loved those conversations. And that is something that we are going to continue doing. So look for your invitations and make sure you're getting those $1 Million months in so you can be a part of that. Great conversations around creative ways to avoid buyer burnout, as well as what loan programs people are using to help put deals together and keep deals together. So those were my two big takeaways from it. Upcoming, we are heading into a holiday week. So Friday, we will still be open. However, probably more of a half day. So if you have commissions coming in, if there's anything that you need from the staff, just make sure that you let us know so that we can plan for that. Otherwise, have a fabulous 4th of July weekend. Were we advancing all of my slides for fun?
That wasn't Blake.
Oh. Wasn't it?
Maybe it was, but I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Not on purpose.
All right. So Kimber is taking over Tech Bar. Courtney is still here. Nobody panic. But she is focusing much more on the agent services and agent experience. And Kimber is going to be working with you for tech and marketing questions. So she will be holding Tech Bar Wednesday and Friday. That's 11 to 12 in person on Wednesdays, and then virtually Friday from 11 to 12 as well. Let's go through with that. Nope, that was backwards. That one was my fault.
Can I say one thing on Kimber real fast?
Yeah.
I hope you guys would introduce yourself to her, just as a kind of FYI thing. For me personally, a lot of times when it comes to the operational side, like in command, you may learn like the ins and outs of it, but I really hope you guys use Kimber because attend the Tech Bar, because she'll talk to you more of the business aspect of this is how it applies to your business, and this is where you can unlock opportunities. So we're really lucky to have her here, and of course, Ashley, that family,
And yeah,
or Emily. But please,
we're gonna just leave it on this slide for fun.
yeah, I would say like my rule of thumb is always give it a shot. I'll always look at it first. I'll give anyone an opportunity first. So just attend it, see what you think. But I've been really impressed by Kimber and
Yeah, I agree. And the things to keep in mind with that Tech Bar is it's a great opportunity if you do have questions, if you have challenges, if you're trying to get through something with command. But to Chris's point, it's also a great opportunity to work on strategy. So if you don't have any tech questions at all, but you're working on creating more listing opportunities or being able to attract more out-of-state buyers or better manage your current database, Tech Bar is also a great time to sit down and talk with Kimber and develop some strategy around that. And she is here for you for that. Okay. At the front before June meeting. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Surprise.
there we go.
Hey.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
Averted.
All right. So if you are a part of our luxury group, there is a mastermind on the 7th. We are also going to be bringing some of these ideas that this group is putting together to all of the agents. So don't worry that you're not going to get great tips on that. July 14th, we do have a 1-hour CE available. That's going to be GPS Your Way to Success. And that's working on goal setting. And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's just kind of, where are you right now in your business? Are you feeling about where you are? Kind of, are you on track where you need to be? What do we need to tweak? Get back on track and then.
And this is a great thing to be doing right now when we're kind of middle of the year, ready to push through to the second half. July 15th, Agent Financials Virtual CE. So you know the name of the game is not just making more money, but keeping more money and understanding the management of that. And so that's a great class to be doing. July 16th, 9 to 5 is the CE New Home Construction Buyer Representation.
You want to go to the next slide? There's more.
Is there more? Perfect. All right.
Not very much information there. Okay, so this is a certification course that I teach with Cheryl Knowlton, and it is 7 hours of CE, and it is an elective that goes toward the ABR. And really what it's about, so you guys don't know me very well, and I want to know you better. My background is in new construction. So I've been involved in new construction for 17 years, really involved with builders and things like that. So it's about how do we represent a buyer, how do we bring value representing the buyer in a new construction scenario. So it helps you from the buyer's agent's perspective, understand the construction process a little bit more, and then also how you can add value, because sometimes it's a little intimidating, right? And we've got some awesome new construction agents here where you're going to identify that you have the agent that they don't see until the final walk, and then they come, the buyer's agent comes and just points out all kinds of issues. So how do we add value? How can we help in the process? And again, it's 7 hours CE. It's going to be live and virtual. We're going to teach at the South Valley office, because our training room is bigger over there. And what else? It's through the National Association of Realtors. So it gives you a certification. You get letters that you can put next to your name. Any questions about that? Okay.
When was that again?
It's on the 16th of July. It's from 9 to 5. Did you take that, Coco? Have you taken that, Coco? I have not taken it. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. Oh, this will be a slide with more information. I just didn't click far enough. We talked about this. We talked about Kimber, and now we're back to where we started. So let's do awards, and then we'll bring Emily up for. No. I think we'll just keep you right up here. I think you look so beautiful. Emily's gonna kill me. I just like everyone should get really used to her beautiful face, and so we're just gonna keep her up while we do awards. Thank you. All right, so we're starting with productivity awards. So top individual listings for the month of May, we have Lindsay Philpott, Ashley.
Come up and I'll make sure.
Yeah.
And then we'll tag you on social media. It's so much easier when somebody else is writing about it.
Very true. I think a bunch of these are on Zoom, but if they're here, please come up. Ashley, Lindsay, Carrie Simper is Carrie.
Yeah, there she is. She's coming.
Carrie! Okay, everyone really cheer for Carrie since she's right here.
Makeup on.
Not a joke. We've got Rachel Ray Eliason and Hannah Barker. I don't think Hannah's right. All right, there's our top individual listing. Then we have the McQueen team and Capabella Real Estate Group for the top team listing. Both of you? Yeah.
Yes.
Woo! All right, more clapping. All right, so top group listings, we have Bustos Real Estate. Who from that group wants to grab it? Then we've got the Gamboa team. Congratulations to all of you on Zoom. Do it. Yes. Proudly represent. Woo! And then the Reardon team. Woo!
We want everybody to be able to reach you though.
All right, Christy Roman, she's not here today. Christy had her first closing in the month of May. So let's give her a big round of applause. And Cindy Leal also had her first closing in the month of May. And Chris Harper, absolutely killing it, believe it or not, had his first closing in the month of May. So, all right, top individual closings. I'm going to read through these a little bit more quickly, but if you're here, we'll slow down and clap. We've got Rachel Ray Eliason for top individual closings, Shauna Winters, Tana Barker, Alicia Unruh. Woo! Got Giovanni Castillo, Annie Steele. Yeah, there you are. Ashley Lindsay, Carrie.
Why are you blinked again?
I don't have any mascara on, so you can't see my eyes.
You got Gloria Rodriguez, Jared Fredrickson, and Lindsay Philpott. Congratulations. All right, top team closings. We have the McQueen team.
So it's in this group. There was only one team.
Okay, well, yay.
Yay!
For groups, we have the Gamboa team. We have the Bustos Real Estate team. Do you want to help us do a little research? We have United Home Services. Let's come up and grab that one. And Reardon team. All right. And last but certainly not least, we have our $1 Million Month award winners. We've got Rachel Ray Eliason, Shauna Winters, Ashley Lindsay, flipping, Carrie. Lindsay Philpott, Giovanni Castillo, Jared Fredrickson, Alicia Unruh, Brian Williams, Annie Steele, the McQueen team, Bustos Real Estate, Reardon team, one now because he abandoned you. All right, one more big round of applause for everyone for making Maine such an incredible. So we're going to jump into the meat of the meeting today. Before we do that, there's two things I would like to do. One is introduce Pillar to Post and have them chat a little bit. They were kind enough to sponsor today's team meeting and bring some doing lunch. Is that what we've got going on?
Heavy snacks.
Heavy
like
snacks, light lunch, yes. So we'll turn the floor over to them for a few minutes, and then I want to just prep everyone for the next few weeks what we'll be focusing on in team meetings. So the last 8 weeks, as you know, we've been really focused on listings and strategies, tools, best practices to really maximize your listing opportunities in this market. The next 7 weeks, we're going to be focusing on wealth building. And so this will cover a variety of topics. We're going to have great panelists and speakers talk about flip opportunities in this market. Yes, they do still exist. How do you find those? What are you looking for? What do the numbers look like? Hold opportunities, looking at financing for investment, cryptocurrency. What else are we going through, Emily? Got 7 weeks. I'm missing a
People
few.
who are awesome at flipping.
Yeah, we talked about flipping. Oh, Airbnb.
Airbnb
Mm-hmm.
and different opportunities. That's huge right now.
Mm-hmm.
Buy and hold.
So there will be 7 weeks of lots of wealth building. So, and again, focused on not just making more money, but really utilizing your money effectively and building wealth.
Did you
This is
say,
also
the one about turning your database
No.
into investors?
yes. So taking your clients, taking your database, and helping them become investors. So these are going to be great tools for you to use for your own wealth building. Also great tools for you to be working with your clients and your database and assisting them in building wealth. And the more you can change from a transactional basis where you're just the person that they talk to when they need to buy or sell, and hopefully they remember you're the person they need to talk to when they need to buy or sell, and more become the person that they turn to for all of managing that portfolio and all of their wealth building strategies, and that they really see as their partner in creating long-term wealth, the more you win the game. And the more you get the opportunities to help them buy and sell, and the more they refer you out to others. So this is going to be a really powerful series. Very excited about our focus for the next few weeks. So make sure you make it a priority to be here. And so now we'll have Pillar to Post.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Casey Larson. This is Cheryl Goldspring. She is our new marketing person, so you'll hopefully be seeing a lot more of her in the coming months, years, forever. I know several of you in this office, just a quick personal story. My mom actually used to work at the KW Midvale office way back in the day when I was like 12. I would hang out here after school for a couple hours, do homework. So yeah, this office is very near and dear to me, and so it's good to be back in here. But just a quick kind of rundown of what we do. We are the professional home inspection company. We print out our reports on site every time, give your clients a nice binder, really makes you look good for referring us. We do a 360 tour with every single inspection that we do. And on our higher end packages, it actually includes a measured floor plan. So really handy thing for your buyers as they're moving in, planning furniture, contractors, that sort of thing can reduce you having to go back in and open up the home for them and things like that. So I always, right now, I have to say, don't waive inspections. It protects you, your sellers, your buyers, everybody involved, your broker.
Just do it sooner.
Yeah, there's so many different options that we are offering. We can even do it after closing, and it still kind of protects you. At least they know what they're getting into. You know, we do pre-listing inspections. Really a nice package that we put together that you can, again, just drop that binder on the table, say, here's what you're getting into. You know, we're not doing anything, or we took care of all these issues or whatever. So there's a lot of different options. Yeah.
What's the price point for your pre-listing inspection?
It's pretty standard to our normal inspections. So we started about $300 and go up to depending on square footage and things like that.
And if we've done like a pre-listing inspection, for example, sorry, just follow up.
Yeah.
And then a buyer was interested in, could they purchase a la carte floor plan? Or do you do that at?
We could do that after the fact, yeah. It's not something we run into very often, but we probably do that. It'd be $150, probably in that range, but just our vendor, we have to pay them, so it's a whole added thing, but be on the lookout for Cheryl. She's awesome. She's super friendly. She's got a real estate background. She's from California, real estate out there, so she knows what you're looking for. I know.
I've been here for a year now, but just to add to what Casey said, coming from a real estate background, it's just a liability issue. It protects you. I also work in the office too. I've recognized a few names coming up here for getting your awards. By the way, congratulations, everyone. But I recognize those names because I do deal with the database. And so I want to thank any and all of you that have referred business to us and trusted us to do your work. I went on a couple inspections. I was really impressed with Florida Post. I'm a testimony person. And so they put shoe covers on. They actually have 2 sets of shoes. They have the professional cars or trucks. They do have that binder at the end, the last 30 minutes of the inspection. We do morning and afternoon inspections. Casey's been really good about manpower because again, we know discovery, due diligence is like on a timeline like no other, but we're booking 24 to 48 hours. If you see a contract coming, if you're presenting an offer, okay, call us, pencil in a date. The worst case scenario, call us back. If it didn't work out, we can reschedule again if it comes down the road. But this is what some people are doing. And this way, then you get those inspections in. Another thing too, for our appreciation, we're doing such things as this. I'll bring in treats once in a while. We do know that you're doing us a favor in trusting us and referring us business. We also are going to work with Emily. We're going to have CE classes. Casey's really great at conducting them. We have a selection of about 20, so we're going to give Emily a list and maybe pop in once a month. That works. And that's our way of giving back to you. So thanks everyone.
Yeah, one other thing real quick before I pour the crap out of you. We were talking about new construction, and it's still important to get an inspection done on new construction. We find so many issues on new construction homes. So just my last heads up. But please grab some food on your way out of here. We brought probably way too much, so grab as much as you want or need, and grab some for the kids, grab some you can take home. We got so much food. So thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time. Hey, sorry, you're sick of us, I'm sure. Now, so I am so happy to be here. It's been a weird start for me with you guys in this group because just, right after this happened and I'm now a part of your group here, I had a very horrible week last week. So my husband, Tim there, we thought he was having an appendicitis, and turns out he had a puncture in his colon, and it was a very serious situation. So last week was crazy. I ditched all of you and stopped answering my phone and while we were trying to figure it out. So he's definitely doing well. He's doing better. It's not the end, but he's home from the hospital and he's doing better. So thank you everyone for allowing me to step out. And I do have to say, you don't need me. They don't need me. Everything just was great. And you have such an incredible support staff here who cares a lot about you, and ALC, and who want the best for you. And it was no issue that I was lost. So anyway, thanks for all of that. I am looking forward to getting to know you guys a little bit better and find out about your business and what you need and how I can help you with that. So this is my family. The saddest thing ever is that this one, Lucy, she is 11. She's now as tall as me. This was like a year and a half ago, which is so sad. And then Crosby is almost 8. And Tim does real estate. We have a real estate team called The Hive. And he runs The Hive, and we represent builders and stuff like that. So he does that. We have a couple of agents. And then I do this, the crazy stuff. I light fires and want to help and grow things and build things, and which is a lot of fun. So we had an interesting experience in the hospital, and it got me thinking about us and our business and how routine things can get, right? So in the hospital, as we find out that he has this condition that you get when you're in your late 60s, 70s, obese, alcoholic, I don't know if you notice. Doesn't exactly fit, right? And so kind of freaky. We had a lot of questions. It's new territory. Like his pee was the color of Coca-Cola. You know, it was like a really weird situation. We had gross.
That
I
is
know.
real gross.
Disgusting. I know. But that is a sign of a serious situation, right? And so in this was something that was uncharted, okay, for us, for our family, scary question. And being on that side of it is interesting when you're relying on other people for information, right? Especially when you're in that unconscious incompetence, which is, we don't even know what we don't know. We don't even know the questions we should be asking. We don't know what's happening. And being surrounded by, of course, they saved his life, so yay, them. However, it was a kind of a difficult situation because we were the ones that didn't know anything was going on. And it got me reflecting a lot about us and our businesses and how we can be so routine with certain things that we forget that moving sucks. Selling your house is awful. Trying to find another house is terrible. Building a house is awful right now. Everything is really hard. And we as agents, we kind of forget, because it becomes routine to us, we kind of forget how difficult it really is. And so I read this book last year called The New Gold Standard. Who's read that? You guys read that? It's about Ritz Carlton. Yeah, it's a book about their philosophy on customer experience and things like that. And it got me thinking a lot, and I wanted to talk about this. In our businesses right now, what some of our challenges are. We're in a weird market. Things are crazy right now in a different way, right? And so I wanted to chat out and kind of reflect on the way that they run their business and how we run ours, and get us thinking about how we can continue to add value in what we're doing. So first of all, what are some of your challenges when we're thinking about customer experience? What are some of the challenges that you have? Let's just shout out. Some of the things you face, yeah.
Uncertainty in the market.
Buyer fatigue.
Neighbors and family supposedly know a lot about real estate.
Being able to find a house if you sell yours.
Yeah.
I feel like entitlement is a little rough right now, like especially sellers.
So weird. And it's weird how that entitlement kind of rotates around depending on what's going on in the market, right? Sometimes in the last little bit, we haven't been entitled markets before things kind of shifted, right? As agents.
And pricing, the way that the prices have gone up and all this over, like determining value.
Helping our clients wrap their head around paying over appraised value.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Staying
narrative
knowledgeable,
has been
continuing to learn.
So all that comes with that. What did you say?
Continuing to learn, just
Yeah.
like trying to keep it's
Educate.
changing so fast. You have
Yeah.
to stay on top of it constantly.
Yeah, I think going along with that. Seems like when I first started, it was all about not chasing the market, just being in front of the market. And now I'm like, I'm sorry, where did it go?
Right, and it's weird because when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see it. Who are my 2008ers? Licenses 2008. She's like, I was born in 2008. Is that what she said? So we didn't know what was going on while we were in it going on, right? It's so hard to navigate what our moves are when we're right in it. We're going to be so smart when we're passing through, after we pass through it, but right at this moment, it's just tricky, right? I mean, I would say on top of that, what else?
I think controlling the narrative is really hard right now.
Thank you for saying that. It is a big pet peeve of mine. I think I have like 3,000 real estate agent friends on Facebook, something like that. And scrolling through, the market's crazy. This is awful. We put, you know, 36.
Burst, everything's going into foreclosure.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get a house. I mean, we've tried. These things might be true, but it would be interesting if there was a way for us to be able to track and see how much we as agents have contributed to the frenzy just by the way that we're communicating and talking to people. So are there good things happening right now?
Yes.
Yes. Are there always crappy things that happen?
Yes.
100%. So let's be a part of what that narrative is. It's not lying. It's educating of why. Do you think it's a good time to buy or sell right now?
Yes.
Absolutely. Why? Okay, appreciation.
I tell my buyers, as soon as you are in the home, this crazy market is gonna benefit you also.
Yeah.
So don't wait, because the longer you wait, the less time you have gaining benefits from it.
Yeah.
Well, and Emily, to jump back to your analogy between what you just went through with your husband in the hospital. I mean, what if you were scrolling through your Facebook feed and it was all doctors and nurses complaining about how awful it is that everyone's sick and how hard their job is and how most of their patients aren't going to make it anyway.
Aren't we so funny as a society? Because I did have a few people. I ended up posting something because I had so many people reaching out. It was easier for me to communicate that way. And I did have people direct message me that said, oh my gosh, my brother died a month ago from that. Or like,
Ew.
oh, it's so horrible, my dad can't eat anymore. Or just something like a total horror story. It's not funny. See, as a society, we kind of are drawn to, we don't slow down by the ambulance because we're trying to make it a safer experience. We want to see it. Give me the gore. For some reason, there is that in our society, and it's bizarre, but it's so true, is what is it that is going to educate, encourage, influence, and help people? It's really, yeah. Any other reason we should buy? Yeah.
Like right now, a lot of people have so much access to so much equity that they would have never had before, right? Normal markets, I mean, even if you look in the history of, go 20 years back, people just don't have access to that kind of capital ever. It's such a
There's
new thing.
more opportunity
Yeah.
for financing than ever. And that's one of the topics, I don't remember if you said it, is the financing. We'll have there's an expert that's coming to help you understand more options that there are out there, even with buyers. So there are agents that have investors who are paying cash for buyers, then they're getting the loan 2 weeks after they close, things like that. There's more options than there ever have been, and the options are not scary like they were in 2008. There's so many incredible.
And a lot of these buyers wouldn't be in that scenario. Like, how long would it take them to save 100 grand, 50 grand, even 20 grand? Like, that's not something that they would do quickly or even have the ability to potentially. So a lot of these people are in this market, and yeah, it's hard. It wouldn't be in here anyway if it weren't for what's coming out.
And even so, when we go back to when our market was, I mean, it didn't even in 2005, 6, and 7, it didn't even increase to the rate that we are now. But at that time, what were the interest rates?
8%.
Yeah, I mean, a good rate was 6.75. And so that's double. Gary Keller said that I don't know if you remember this from Family Reunion. He said that we've had such low interest rates for so long that changing the interest rates drastically and getting back to what more of a normal or average rate would be in that 7th percentile, that alone could cause a recession in the market. So things are different. The game is different. Everything's changed, and they know that. The financial market understands that. And that's why we've been keeping it the way that it is. So everything in the way that we've controlled our economy is shifting and changing. And it's cool. We're a part of that. It's cool to be able to be on the front lines in educating that and making sure that we have the right information. The up-to-date information is how to the best thing we can do for people, right? I had several people reach out and say, there was this one, a good friend reached out and said, one of my good friends had this, similar age. They took out a portion of his colon, which is happening at some point soon. And he's great. He's never had a problem. It was, he recovered well. And there was, because the worst case scenario, he was going into sepsis. So this was a serious situation. And so we know what the worst case scenario is for them. Beyond that, the other worst case scenario is that they have to cut out a portion of his colon. So for me, the worst case scenario, somebody said, yeah, worst case scenario, great, he's going to be good. And here's proof of it. And people want that. They want the proof of things are good. These are the stories. These are the things that are happening. And not even in a way of, hey, you need to use me because this buyer went through 50 offers and we finally got one and I'm the only one who can help you. Instead of that, let's talk about, hey, this is what's so great.
Oh,
I can hear my voice.
sorry, they're just having trouble hearing.
You're just having a little trouble with the mic.
Oh, do you want me to?
We're just gonna unplug this one
You want me to now over here?
and use yours.
Can they hear better if I'm over here?
You unplug the clicker.
Oh, is that the clicker one?
Yeah.
Lowry's like, what are you talking about?
I made them mad.
Which one's the mic one?
Here we go back to the presentation.
Can you hear me if I'm talking here?
Yes, you're good there.
I'll just hear here. Anyway, so let's talk about specific reasons and also give examples that people can draw from and understand of why it's a good time to buy. It's a great time to sell. These are real examples of why. Okay. So when I tell you
Sorry, just keep
that
going.
okay, so what do you think of when I tell you, when we talk about La Quinta? Tell me what your expectation is of a La Quinta in
Cheap.
She goes, bed.
cheap, bed,
That's what I need.
okay?
And a bed for a night, problem solved.
Okay, great, we're very different, great.
I feel like it's like inconsistent. So like their branding is really inconsistent based
Okay.
on the location and the ownership, I think.
Oh, interesting,
And it's just like a middle of the road.
yeah, okay.
I would just say.
So,
Which may not have clean sheets there.
yeah, it's a gamble, right? You're for sure bringing the Clorox wipes to a La Quinta, right? And so if something goes wrong at your La Quinta stay, okay, if something goes wrong there, what is, I don't know, what's kind of your attitude? Let's say they don't have your reservation exactly perfect.
That's what I get, spending $80 a night.
I mean, you almost expect it. It's a delight if everything goes as planned. If you're staying at a place like that or a Motel 6 or some kind of Schitt's Creek kind of thing, right? You almost expect that there is going to be something, right? So then what would you expect if you stayed at a Ritz Carlton?
That's not never happened.
Okay, what if somebody paid for it for you?
Champagne on arrival,
Yeah,
a
5-star.
personal note, they check in with you,
Yeah,
know your name,
yeah.
cookies on the,
Something important, taking cookies.
cookies
Very
and
important.
milk for your kids when you get back.
Yeah.
Turn down service.
Yeah. See, something like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying I want La Quinta. I'm saying
Oh.
if I was going to pay for it, I just need a bed for that. That was the purpose.
Yeah, yeah, I got
of
you.
the La
I
Quinta.
got you. Saw that.
If you're taking your wife, it'll be a little different, right?
Negative.
We can sign you up for some counseling sessions.
Couples.
So what if something goes wrong at the Ritz? Let's say you show up at the Ritz and your reservation isn't right.
They're gonna make it right.
They're going to make it right.
They're gonna go out their way to make it right.
And you expect that, right? If somebody who has a track record and who is awesome and has kept the level up here, and there's a problem, it has more emotion almost in a sense. You're not expecting that. So you're slamming on the counter. This is the Ritz. This is not the treatment I should get at the Ritz, right? At the Ritz Hotel, you better know my name. At La Quinta, you're using an alias. It's not the same experience, right? So how do we, who do you want to be? who are you? Are you La Quinta? Are you the Ritz? Are we somewhere in the middle? Whatever. What do you want? Like, who do you want to be? And what's that message? Have you kind of defined that with what the experience is with your people? Also with that, something that's hard, and especially with our company, we've been at the top for so long, which is because of all of you. It is hard to maintain that status. Okay, I'm going to say something very polarizing. Tom Brady. I mean, that's all I have to say is Tom Brady. It's one thing because people are like, I hate him for no reason, but it's one thing. There's a lot of people who have gotten up and they've gotten to that Tom Brady status, but the thing about Tom Brady that's amazing is staying at the status for the amount of time that he has, right? And that's really what it is with the Ritz Carlton is they have reached this status and expectation. How do you maintain it once you get up there? Doesn't that sound exhausting? Because you think about the people that come in with the expectation of, pounding on, this is the Ritz Carlton, I expect all of these things. So how do we maintain that? Where are we at, Tim?
11:44.
Okay, I put the wrong logo on there. Okay, so I wanted to kind of share with you, these come from the book, about the philosophy with them, and I want to brainstorm too as we're going through this. I want you to think about just notes, put it in your phone or write it down, things, thoughts that you have about maybe holes in your system, maybe something you haven't really thought about in terms of, is it important? Do your clients know that it's important to you? Is it something that you need to spend a little bit more time on? I'll give you another example. In the hospital, at 4 a.m, they woke us, So at 4 a.m, they came in with blood work results. And the nurse said, sorry, I told the leadership team the story already, sorry. And the nurse didn't even tell us the results of the blood test, she's just putting it in there. And his white cell count was 18.5, which is very bad. And I wanted to know where we at, because we had to get this infection down. And so she just spouted out the results of this blood test, and his bilirubin count was really high. And I had noticed that the whites of his eyes were going yellow. And we'd been talking about it. So his bilirubin count went high. And I asked the question, do we need to tell the doctor about that? And so in my asking of the question, it was, is this something that the doctor cares about? Could this be a reason? I was asking one question to try and get information. And the response I got back was, I'm not going to call the doctor for every little thing. I'm not going to call her at 4 a.m. It's in the report. She'll read it. It was bizarre. Which that wasn't even the question that I wasn't. She took it as if I was questioning her yes. It was very strange. So just assuming what the other person is talking about, right? And then listening to what's going on.
I'm sure that made you more calm.
Isn't it crazy? But again, this is she's got to know something about every kind of ailment. She's got to know like a little bit what her focus right then in that moment is. We're doing everything we can to keep him alive and turn this around. And so, which I appreciated so much, but where she's coming from is different from where I was coming from, and just meeting each other and trying to have some level of understanding, right?
The routine first, she doesn't have the empathy.
Yeah, because then maybe the person next door was in way worse shape, and something was happening, right? And there was a big fire. Maybe somebody just died. Maybe there's so many things that could have been happening, but right, she was in my room. Talk to me and listen to me. You're in my room, right?
I was just saying, I think like bringing that back to real estate, setting the expectations, just because she probably legally can't tell you anything. You're wanting information, wanting an update. She legally probably can't tell you. She probably assumes you know that. You probably assume that she should be able to tell you. And then so she's just like, FO, I can't tell you anything.
Yeah, assuming is just really not my favorite. It's really like in saying, yes, the doctor's going to look at all of these numbers, and this is information that helps her determine what the next steps are for you. I'll make sure she's got it. We're going to make sure you have all the questions. I'm not the one to tell you because I don't have control over the treatment that's going to happen. And I want to make sure you have everything you need and that you feel really comfortable with what's happening. That's right. Yeah.
Sometimes those short answers come from a place of time efficiency, right?
Yep.
If she's got 5 other rooms she's got to get to,
Yeah.
than just saying, well, I'm not gonna wake them up at 4 a.m. and move along about her day. It saves time rather than saying all of what you just said, except that if you say all of what you just said, you can breathe easier. And you understand that nothing's happening with this right now. And so we're just gonna be in a holding pattern. Whereas with her answer, I can see a situation where then you've got questions on everything. And because there's not that level of trust, you feel like you have to aggressively be finding out where we're at with this. And so it actually, by not taking the time for careful communication, we create a situation where we are involved in a time suck of responsive communication.
Absolutely.
Create an ongoing problem that is now gonna go throughout the rest of the transaction instead of creating something that could be actually a positive of our relationship.
Right.
And if we can be honest with ourselves, if you're thinking back to there's, I did a horrible thing once where my best friend was my model home partner. It's a long time ago. I've grown a lot since then. And this buyer was hard. And she building this house, and it was hard. And she had sent this not nice email. And thinking that I was forwarding it to my best friend, I sent a best friend type of response about my feelings about the lady, but it was actually a reply. And she wrote a very long review at the end about this. And we were at 4-way, by the way, so at a long time still. And at the end, the review went, well, okay, so what happened is she responded back immediately and said, well, at least I know how you feel about me, blah, blah, blah. I was horrified. What do you do? So I just called her and I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry that I said that. But more than that, I am sorry that I feel that way. And I want this experience to be better for you. There's something that I have missed along the way that has caused you to be frustrated. And I want to fix it if I can. And I'm really sorry. It didn't really work for her, but at least I addressed it and talked. But part of that could have been with her that maybe I didn't. It's so funny because that was in 2007, I think. And last year we went to Cafe Rio. I haven't seen her since Cafe Rio, and she's there. And what do you think I want to do? Right. Tim, get it to go. I'll meet you in the car. I'm out of here. Like, I do not want to talk to her because I felt bad and stupid. But how much of that with that relationship could I potentially have fixed if I would have at the very beginning set an expectation and talked through before? So if any of our bad deals, bad clients, hard situations, if we're honest with ourselves, is there something in our processes or in our communication and things like that that we could have done up front to help? Sometimes no, but is there something that we could have done to help with that? Right? Being honest with ourselves. So here are their focuses. As they're going through at the Ritz, they're constantly defining and refining, and we're kind of in that right now, right? With an ever-changing market and things happening to the moment, that's where we're kind of at and being aware of what's going on. Empowered through trust. So I'll give you some examples of that. They have everything based on that they have set an expectation and then they don't meet it. Better. They level up what the expectation is. Their business is focused on others. What's their experience like, right? Who people work with matters, but it matters because you're making the experience about them and that you're the one that can really help them through this and navigate because you're the most knowledgeable. They're at the center of it. Your entire culture of who you are working with around you is on the same level, and they have the right expectation. Everyone, including our preferred partners. Hey, listen, this is my expectation of you guys with my clients. This is what's important to me. Is everybody on that same page that represents you in some way or another? Deliver the wow, what's something above, and leaving a lasting footprint for them to want to come back. We call those repeat referrals.
I love this. I think something for me that really helps is identifying what a standard is. Right?
Yeah.
Many times when we want to have a higher standard, it becomes more of a goal. Like, I'm going to try and reach this standard. And I get there's a stretch there. But a standard for me, the way I find it, it's a bare minimum.
Yeah.
It's like what I don't allow to dip me, right?
Yeah.
And once I set that standard, it forces you to think differently. Like, I cannot dip below this standard. So
Yeah.
if I'm creating experience, it forces me to think and come to where my clients are, or agents, or whoever that is. So I think differently to not allow myself to just blow the standard. And then just one other thing, it's easy in many situations. I think sometimes we get so caught up in fault, like, oh, this buyer just doesn't get it, or I can't believe I'm working with this individual. Yeah, like some individuals are more difficult to work with than others, right? But it's still our responsibility to meet that standard.
Yeah.
So again, it can be someone else's fault, but once you stop focusing on that and just see it as your responsibility to make things work and make it happen, to meet and exceed that standard,
Yeah.
really think differently through it.
Yeah.
Standard for me also is, I can't remember the quote, but something like the quality of our lives or our businesses are based on what we allow. So what are you going to allow in your own business?
I love that. Tana.
I think that a learning experience for me has been, I'm like an IDS, and C is like really low for me. And I have 2 clients that are CC and they're married. And it has been the most challenging thing for me because that is my very bottom. So I think that has helped me so much because I'm like, okay, this is my worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And now I know how to be with everybody else.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because I have to talk to them, like over communicate, which to them is not over communicating, it's not enough. And like listing things out.
Data.
It's like everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, okay, this is my worst case scenario. So if I can just duplicate this, and it doesn't really, you can't over give information.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like if I can just do this for everybody, then I'm probably going to be okay.
Yeah. I love
And
it.
then add my other stuff, you know.
Yep. That's awesome. Thanks. So this is our credo. Will somebody read this quickly out loud for us all?
The Ritz Carlton is a place where the genuine care and comfort of our guests is our highest mission. We pledge to provide the finest personal service and facilities for our guests who will always enjoy a warm, relaxed, yet refined environment. The Ritz Carlton experience enlivens the senses. Ooh, I want to go there. Instills well-being and fulfills even the unexpressed wishes and needs of our guests.
So every Ritz Carlton has a unique scent that has been created for that particular place, and they tap into all the senses. It's interesting. That's one of the major things for people that have depression or anxiety or PTSD or something like that. They teach you to hone in on the 5 senses to get back, right? There's something really powerful about that that helps you internalize. So as a part of your experience, there's more that we can do, right? And their motto.
At the Ritz Carlton Hotel Company, we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. This motto exemplifies the anticipatory service provided by all staff members.
We are people that serve all people, regardless of what they want us to call them. There's more than ladies and gentlemen, right? But you get the gist, right? That do you have a motto? Like, what is that? What is the expectation that people can get from you? And have you, doesn't matter if you have it, if you haven't talked about it. Okay, these are their steps in service. A warm and sincere greeting, use the guest names, anticipation and fulfillment of each guest need, fond farewell, a warm goodbye, and use the guest name. So they'll see, they pay attention, they track everything. They pay attention to their kids' names. They actually search on Facebook before anybody comes. So when they get the reservation, they search on, it's kind of creepy. They have an algorithm and stuff. They use Facebook, find out who that is, and put the face in their file before somebody comes. So when they come up, they'll know them. They'll know their name.
That makes you feel like the most important person. You're like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, if they remember my drink order at the spa, I'm like, oh, I do like mint tea. It makes you feel so special, right? Okay, so then in the service values, there's 12 of these. I'm going to send these slides out. I know we're going over time, so I won't read through these 12, but it is what it is with these is it's an expectation, but you'll see that it is
I understand my role in achieving the key success, right? So what is it that you're gonna do? So it isn't I will or we're going to, it's no, I understand. It's the present. I do this. I understand what I'm doing. My systems are here for you. It's in place. You have an understanding of that. So just read through these 12 when I send it all out. Is that okay?
One of the things I like, going back to the ladies and gentlemen slide, I like that it's having that respect for yourself and then also treating others with respect.
Absolutely.
It sets an expectation of who you are as well, not that you are their servant, their, the person to beat up on through the process. But
I love that.
all have that expectation together.
One of the things that they do too is everybody's empowered to do things. So the staff there, they have a $2,000 allowance that they can use for anything. So they use that to, if they see they have little kids, they will go buy toys and have them in the room or something like that, right? So they have this amount of money to use if they need to or want to, or if there's an opportunity to wow their experience, they have that. The other thing is every single person that's associated with the Ritz Carlton is empowered to fix any kind of an issue. So they give an example of a waiter at the restaurant at Ritz who heard them talking about how the remote didn't work in their room. And after dinner, they finished, he went up to the room, got the remote, had somebody let him in, the waiter had somebody let him in, got the remote, got it fixed, came back, knocked on the door. Hey, here's your remote. I'm so sorry it didn't work. This one works for you.
I don't want to talk because I know we're out of time, but you reminded me, I believe it's Ritz Carlton. Someone who wrote another book on branding. Their kid left like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
This one left a teddy bear and was just distraught. And they
Mhm.
got home from their flight and he's thinking this thing's gone, right? That's his expectation. They had, when they got to the house, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
the teddy bear was there, it was
Yeah.
shipped there.
Yeah.
And in the package, they had pictures of like the
Yeah.
teddy bear like playing with members of the Ritz.
Yeah, they put it all around the hotel
They
and
had like in the spa and things like
yeah,
that.
so it wasn't, the teddy bear wasn't lost, it had its own vacation.
Yeah,
experience.
so he just talked about the wow experience, and it all goes back to like putting yourself in the place of the individual, where everyone's gonna say like, how did you even think of doing that? It's because that individual.
And pay attention, right, to different opportunities. That's awesome. Okay, really quick. So at the center of all their stuff is the emotional engagement. Is this transactional or is this emotional? Because moving is emotional, it is hard. It's going to be emotional on the other side. So how can we, instead of, they're so emotional, let's control that in a sense, right? And utilize that. That's positive because logic makes you think and emotion makes you act, right? This is how we're getting clients for life. The employee promise, read through that too, but it talks about how their principles are trust, honesty, respect, integrity, commitment, nurture and maximize the talent of everybody who's there for the benefit of the individual and the company. So if you have somebody on your team or in your group of, so our team is our vendors and everybody like that, if there is kind of a baddish apple or somebody that's doesn't have the same expectation, they're an extension of you. Think about maybe we need to level up some of our partnerships.
When I worked for Delta, I worked there for years. It's true because you had the people who worked at the gates for years and years and years. You could tell they were just miserable, and you're like, why don't you retire? Because I want our customers to think that this is
hard, huh?
Yeah, and it made everybody think that all the gate agents were just, and it's like a bad apple.
Yeah, it can really, it reflects on you, right? So here's a couple of things to think about that's brought up in the book. In order to effectively control the experience of your customer, your client, you've got to have a system around that. If it's based solely on the teddy bear, then you're going to miss things, right? And it's not going to be a consistent experience. So what are some of the things that you need to put in place? I haven't something that I want to do, I want to get your feedback really quick, is schedule a day where we have a videographer that's here, where you can sign up for time and you can record all of your videos during the transaction. So I'm going to do, 5 videos about the listing, something I send before I go to their house, when we go under contract or whatever that is. I have scripts for all that kind of stuff. You tweak it how you want to do it, but that's one of those things that we always intend to do, but we can't find the time. It's just, life is crazy. So if we get a plan for these kinds of things, the experience is really important right now, and it's hard, but if we can systematize it and utilize the tools that we have and have our purpose is to help you put those things into place. Like, for example, Kimber, she's so good at this stuff. So sitting down, getting some of these things already in motion and going, that having it more in a workshop style instead of just teaching about something. Let's bring our laptops, let's set it up, let's figure it out so that you're leaving with that already in place. Would that be something that's helpful?
Yes.
Like the video. So any of those kinds of things that you think about, that would be helpful. I've always wanted to do this, or what about this? Let me know. Text me, call me, let Robin know, let any of us know, and then let's put it into action. Let's get it going. And you've heard of the 212, right? What's 212? Really quick. Do you know what that is? The 212 degree? Cute. There's a video about it. So what it is that's the degree that water boils. At 211, it doesn't boil. 210, it doesn't boil. It's got to hit a 212 degree. So there's such a difference that you can make. Just a little bit more effort. 1 more degree, right? 1 degree makes all the difference. Your pasta is not going to cook in 211, right? And they use that as one of their focuses there. And then, is it hard for customers to do business with you? Are they the ones asking the questions? Is this something the doctor needs to know about? Are you providing an environment where people are comfortable talking and asking? And would you want to do business with you? I would, with you. Okay, and then these are the things that customers want. So for example, little tiny things, they don't put a credit card on the desk. They go around and hand them the credit card. Thank you. Kind of thing, right? Just the little simple things. What are some of those simple things that you've done or you've seen or that we can put into place with you? And then what are their expectations? Have you set that and can you execute on that? I think a lot of the personality styles that are attracted to real estate are also the ones that have lots of good intentions and just want to do so much. And that's hard. We got to make sure that we're make good on those. That people, you've got, okay, what is that? Inspect what you expect. You have to set an expectation in order to be able to go in and inspect if it's working. You have to first set that expectation. Okay, really quick. And then what if things go wrong? They stop everything and they call it Mr. Biv. So, okay, we got the mistake. We're going to rework it. We're going to break it down. We're going to find the inefficiencies. And what are the variations? What are the things that we need to do to make sure that that doesn't happen? Okay. Let's see. Okay, and then as a part of your daily huddle, if you're doing it, or even your own personal, if you don't, I encourage you to even do a daily huddle with yourself every morning. Plan it out. That's something that we do is we have an energy captain every day where somebody's in charge of that energy, positive energy is the goal. And just to kind of structure what your day is going to be. As a part of your focus, what is something great that you can do for somebody? Think about that in the morning. What can I do? And you'll see that things come out. You'll notice somebody on Facebook had a baby or whatever it is, right? If you're asking for that, then you'll be made aware of what's out there. And that's how you can really wow people. And I'm so sorry I rushed this one. Yeah, I mean, let's think big. You want to? Don't forget your book, Army. Oh, okay. Appreciate you. Yeah, don't leave. Let's think big, right? Money is good. Money is good for the good that money can do. So let's make more money. Let's help more people, and let's get these systems into process. Anybody have any last thoughts?
Fabulous.
Go team. Okay, so please tell me. Let us know what some of the things that you're thinking about that would be helpful for you. Social media, video, any of those things, and let's just knock it out. Let's get our systems going. Let's talk. next week about, okay, where are you in your business? And think about these sort of systems as a part of your to-do list of what we want to incorporate for this second part of the year. Any other thoughts? I want to know you. I'm going to be reaching out, but we're here for you. We care about you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All.
Yeah.
I think
Please
the
bring
end.
food.
Yeah, get some food.